I'm not going to say a lot, but I do just want to first thank everybody that worked on this film that is here tonight. If you could just stand up real quick so I can embarrass all of you. So if you worked on the movie, stand up. Get some or wave. Come on, yeah, there we go, there we go. So thank you guys, thank you everybody, thank you for your patience getting seated. It means the world to me to have this movie here tonight. I've been coming to this theater for like 25 years, and it's a real trip to have something that I made with all of these amazing collaborators play here. So thank you very much. Afterwards, we're going to do a Q&A, and we'll have some sweet swag. And yeah, so I'd say enjoy, but that's maybe not the right word choice. But we'll talk later. Thank you. I love the desert because it's like transcendent, it's beautiful, it's horrifying, it's quiet, it's loud. I mean, it's just like this, anything can happen there.
Exactly, anything can end it. Let's go into the genesis of this project. We had this really lovely conversation before we came up here, and I don't know, the genesis is really interesting. I've never heard of a process like this. I mean, like, talk about how the photos.
Yes. So I approached this project a little bit differently than I have some others. I had this idea for this character that I wanted, this photographer character, and I thought, well, I know I wanted him to take these photographs in a particular style. It's sort of a callback to some of the 70s American photographers, like Stephen Shore and John DeBola and people like that. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make this photographer's body of work. So for a couple of years, I went out photographing like I think he would, and that kind of, was finding some of these locations that are in the movie, like the drive-in movie theater, some of the abandoned movie theater, and those kind of sparked this idea about having this movie kind of be this weird mirror about movies and image making and things like that. So so I amassed all of these photographs, and and when I was initially meeting with Ty about the project, it's like, hey man, I think you'd be really great in this role. Here's all this stuff. What do you think?
So the book and the film, you made the book.
Yeah, the book, all of that was made before. Yeah.
And then you handed it off to Kai, and you were like, here you go.
Yes.
Tell me more, Kai. What was that like?
Well, is this?
I don't know if
There's
it's on.
nothing.
Hey, Kai, over here.
Chat. There you go, Sarah. Yeah, so essentially, Josh had done so much work building this story, building this world before we ever met, thanks to Rob Zabrecky, who made, I was just standing in the right place at the right time, but we met and he had taken the photographs. He made a book as Alex Clark. He had built just deck upon deck of reference of photographers, the stuff that made this character who he was, the music he listened to. I mean, he had lived and breathed this person. So literally all I had to do was just put the shoes on and hit my mark. Everything was there. So it was really all him. And it was a pleasure. It was like, it's kind of a dream to get to walk into something like that. That's that, fully realized. And so, yeah, it continues to be a pleasure.
And how about Sarah and Rob? Like, were you also approached with materials, or?
Yeah, same. I got photos, and there were a bunch of like excerpts from Bertrand Russell writings about deserts, and the playlist, and I love the script, and I don't know, it was easy to get a sense of like what you were going for, and then there was a Bo Diddley reference, and I was like, yes.
Rob?
Let's see, I worked with Josh before on a short. We were friends. Josh is an amazing drummer and singer, by the way. His band Lamps is really when I think we met long ago through all that. But yeah, we worked together before, so when you said, check the script out, it all made sense, and it just did seem fully realized. By my favorite line being, do you like jazz? Fuck no. That was the funniest thing. I think that was still my favorite line in the movie. And so I knew Kai and David, and I shared the story with my wife, and she said, Kai would be really good at this role, and stopped doing it. That was it. So it was all there. And knowing that Ty was going to do the music, and it all just everything fell in. Kai and I worked together before on another short. We were driving, I think, too.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, similar. It's driving in the desert. But anyway, so that's how I kind of came to it. And just anytime I can work with Josh is going to be, I know it's going to be cool and fun. And it was. This was great.
Ty, music. Like, I heard you made this album before the film, or?
Yeah. That was the job. So we did it. It was super fun. No, I think the idea was to make the music before they shot it. So we were kind of like the actual music while everybody was driving around, which was cool. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and it was just like make weird electric funk jazz. So most of the bands here, they will. Yeah. Charles and Michael and Emmett are here. Ben's not here. Emmett's here.
So that must have made the editing process really interesting. Star.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a strong script, and I was on set, so I had a pretty good sense of what we had. Josh was really good at noting what he would like in the footage, and then we just collaborated pretty together. I don't have much to say about it. I've been out to the desert with Josh for 20 years or so now, so there's also that. I think my scalp is still kind of burned from
What happened out there, guys? Are you all okay?
No, it's really fucked up out there. I mean, that's the thing. It's like really fucked up. I mean, so many locations. I mean, real locations. I mean, the pet cemetery. I mean, it's like this pet cemetery is a real functioning. I mean, it's a pet cemetery. And I found it just motoring around out there, and I was like, we've got to shoot at this place, and it was a real pain in the ass to try to get to shoot there because the people that own it also live in this trailer on the pet cemetery property. And I went out and knocked on the door, and nobody would answer. Like maybe 2 or 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 times. And then next to it is kind of like they got like a junkyard tow thing happening, another property. And I asked this dude who's next door, I was like, hey, what's up with this pet cemetery? Like, are these people ever around to, run this? Because I want to, film something here. He's like Mexican dude. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, they only come out at night. We have to shoot here. We definitely have to shoot here. And, we pulled some strings and showed up, and that's another story. But we got to shoot there, and it was really fucking hot. It was probably, I think it was like 112 that day. I had the infinite wisdom to, decide to shoot this in July. It was pretty warm.
You all survived.
We did.
I think now's a great time to open up to some questions from the audience. How about you?
What was the idea behind using the sadist as the movie on the DVD?
Great question. I love Archibald Jr. I love The Sadist. It seemed right for what would be on in this weird fantasy motel. I think obviously there's pretty on the nose mirroring between what happens in The Sadist and what happens to the characters in the movie.
I want to point out that Josh has tote bags with cassette tapes in them, and if you ask great questions, you can get this little bit of swag. So maybe more hands, please.
And a little to add to that, the tote bags do say, "Do you like jazz?" on them. And the cassette tape is the track that plays during the party scene.
Oh, more hands.
Limited.
Very nice.
Yes, you do.
Can you tell us about the maple syrup flavor of the hoop?
So I mentioned earlier, like I got onto those and met these sketchy dudes and all this, and on one of these excursions, one of the guys, his name was Bob, he was this Vietnam vet, he made his own moonshine, and I was offered some of this moonshine. I was like, of course I'm gonna take this moonshine. He was really excited because he's like, yeah, this is a fresh batch. I got a new pair of pantyhose that I use for the filter. Okay. And I had the moonshine, and it tasted like maple syrup. I'm like, that's fucking weird. And then I had some more, and then one of these other degenerates that hangs out with him, I was like, what have you been doing, man? I'm like, just drinking Bob's moonshine. He's like, no, you can't do that. You can go blind. So, that obviously ended up in the script. But yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful. What do we got? How about you right there?
So, for the record, like, every Beyond Fest I go to, people are always like, oh my god, I love you so much, and there's not even a question, and it drives me crazy, like, that happened today at Al Pacino and all that, and I'm actually gonna do that, because I just kind of want to say, like, for the record, because I've been to so many, like, Beyond Fest, and I'm like, this director, but fuck yeah, Ty Segall, I love you. You're fucking cool. I've seen so many of your shows, and I just am so happy that you fucking scored my shit. I love you so much.
I love you so much back.
Yeah.
I fucking love you.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Can we get a question? How about you?
So I used to live in New Mexico, and living in the desert has always been a fascinating experience, and I think we can talk about really hit the nail on the head of like, anything can happen out there. The people say the weirdest things. So I was wondering, you really captured this feeling of like getting lost in it. Which desert did you find really hit you like that? Where did you end up filming this?
Yeah, we filmed all over. We're mostly around Death Valley and out Mojave. The abandoned military base is out in Bakerville. It's a real abandoned military base. And I think those are the areas that I'm kind of like most familiar with. And so that's sort of how they ended up in the movie. Oh my God.
I'm wondering if you could discuss the significance of diamonds in this movie. There is a diamond reference with the spaceship. There's a grave stone for a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean to you?
Tell us about the diamonds.
I just like to, I like having a motif that, repeats throughout the movie. It's the two-pop that happens in the film later, the diamond. And while we were filming at this pet cemetery, one of the headstones said diamond on it, and I was like, well, we have to put that in the movie.
It's also the name of the stripper
Yeah, it
that's
is the name.
discussed.
Exactly.
Man,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Get that man another tote bag.
Hi, my question is for Kai. So when you read the script, like were you informed beforehand that your character, which seemed like a kind of main character at the beginning, kind of dies at half the way? Like, were you did you know that before you read the script, or did you find out as you were reading it?
Oh yeah, I found out as I was reading it, but the thing is that I would have followed Josh into the desert barefoot for hose water and a cheese sandwich because of all of the incredible work that he did leading up to it. And also, I have to take this opportunity to mention Claire Redman, our costume designer, who was like so integral in helping to build all of these characters. I mean, she's just so great. Claire, you're here somewhere. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but did I know I was gonna die? Hell yes. And I love an opportunity to get offed.
And did you ever?
So my question is actually kind of piggybacking off of that. One of my favorite aspects of this film was that this protagonist who you get invested with in the first half dies fairly quickly and then the film shifts. Was that something that was known when the script was first being developed, or did that happen along the way?
Yeah, no, that was the original intent the whole time. Yeah. Cool.
Love that.
I missed like the first couple minutes of this, so I apologize if this was touched on already, but there seemed like there was kind of like a little bit of a meta aspect of him screaming that he was a tourist and talking to him about his creative process. Like, you like being a tourist a little bit, don't you? And it felt like to me it seemed like there was maybe a little bit of a meta level to it, like creating this. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about sort of like, was it chicken and egg sort of thing, like in terms of thinking about that, and a lot of creatives from LA are often going out into the desert looking for inspiration. It's honestly kind of a trope. This is obviously very different, but if you could talk a little bit about the relationship between the two, personally and in context of this film.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there is definitely, I think a specific type of artist that, is like looking for some type of authenticity, and maybe that's at the expense of the reality of other people that maybe aren't in the same economic background. And it was really just, commenting on that, that not like, the Alex, photographer character is like trying to be exploitive. He's got good intentions. That's not really his interest, but that is how it is viewed by, the Rennie character.
Did you ever get called a tourist while you were out making
No.
You fit right in.
Yeah, it totally fit right in. I mean, talking about fitting right in, one thing when we were on set, there was one day where we were, Star and I actually were driving to go get coffee, and Zach, who plays the Rennie character, he, is fully committed to his role and everything, and he was very, very serious in his approach to this, and that really meant a lot to me. So anyway, so Star and I are going to get coffee, and we see this like total dirtbag of a dude like walking on the side of the road. Oh man, that guy, we should get this guy in the movie somehow. Like he's just like a real life Rennie. And then we got a little closer, it was like, oh no, that actually is Zach. He was just like wandering the side of the road. We filmed, so it's like, all right, okay, we did the right thing. We got the right thing.
How about you?
Great head explosion. Can you tell us how you pulled off that effect?
Oh man, I mean, I think we've got the masterminds behind that in the audience. Yeah, I mean, they just did amazing work on that. You know, we had some time where, we went to their shop and, had a fake Rob Zabrecky head made, and there was some compressed air and a bunch of gas, and we had one take of it, and thankfully we got it.
Ooh, let's keep them coming. All right, yeah, but you.
I've got a bit of a you shot first question. Did Alex actually fuck Susie Q, or is that just something that Brandon said?
Yeah, that is all deliberately open-ended, so I'd rather not say. Yeah.
Was the true romance thing intentional?
I mean, it was something that we talked about in the costume design, and, it's kind of hard to avoid.
Loved it.
Thank you.
You, okay.
Did anyone you speak to out the desert or anyone on set see an UFO?
Actually, we did on the way back one night.
Yeah, courtesy of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm from San Bernardino County, and I have a healthy respect for the desert because I know it's actually a dangerous place. And I just wondered if kind of that idea of it just being such a place of awesome power, like, was kind of behind, like, some of the intention of the film. And I also wanted to ask the actors, were you actually kind of scared sometimes out there?
Yes.
No? Okay.
You ever scared Rob? No. I was indoors though, mostly. I was just sitting minding those monitors, watching those beautiful movies being cut together. So I felt very safe in there until,
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Actually, skin that just rotted off his leg after, like, brown recluse bite or something, so.
Oh my God.
That's significant.
Yeah, that is.
Some questionable walls.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, the desert, I mean, as you know, I mean, it's, it is powerful. I mean, I think one of the things when we did the sound mix and when we were out there, I think I like this idea of juxtaposing different aspects of the desert. So at times it's very, very quiet. And then at other times it's like just a cacophony of like horrible abrasive sounds of, trains and traffic and old machinery, and I just, that was something that was maybe more at the forefront of my mind.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys talked a lot about the preparation of the film and making the book and photos and really scouting it out. I was wondering what your thoughts are, what happened to the photos that were taken on the film, like during the film with the characters, and what happens to them? Like, do people see that party night? Do they see the portraits of the two vagrants? Just curious.
Yeah, so the party scene, the photos that are taken in the party scene, when we were actually filming, or, capturing digitally, Kai had that camera with real film in it, and so those still frames that you see in the party scene are the actual photos that he took while we were filming it, and they all, when I got the film developed, I was like, oh my God, these are all really good. Like, Kai's, pretty talented, so it turned out, really well, and so those actually ended up in the movie.
What about the portrait?
The portrait, we didn't actually have film in the camera.
In the imaginary circumstances, though.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, they're with, they're out of the swap meet. Probably exposed.
Cool, I think we've got time for like 2 more, so like 2 really amazing burning questions. What do we got? What do we got?
Oh, we and Hunter.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you could talk a little more about the process of a score. It's obviously like not something that's done very often, do it before the movie is shot. And I was wondering like what was that process like? Were you sharing reference samples? What were the advantages of doing it beforehand?
Well, so just to be clear, the jazz tracks that you hear like while he's driving, that was what Ty and Emmett and Charles and Michael and Ben all, freestyled on. So we recorded that, a couple months before. But then the actual score of the movie, Ty worked on that as I, was giving him, I think a rough cut. And then, I don't know, Ty, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was like a lot of back and forth and talking and some references and, getting, I guess, like moods and tones and vibes. And then Josh was very heavy in shaping it all. So I think there's 2 definite things going on. What was being listened to in the car, and then kind of the other world, which were 2 very distinct vibes. But it was Josh leading the charge the whole time.
Sweet. All right, last question. You want to pick, Josh?
Yeah, just curious for any of Rob's character's backstory that you'd be willing to share, or from you, Josh, or from you, Rob, and any prepared photography that you would have enjoyed as well.
I always thought Josh has told me on we do these walks through Griffith Park we have for years, and he said, you always play a great pervert. He said that a few times, and so then when this script came up, I just presumed that was going to be the role of the director, and yeah, just kind of, the word pervert, I think, is used a lot. Josh is a pervert. I love playing a pervert. I like saying the word pervert right now. It's a fun word to say, but yeah, pervert. You said it first. Yeah, you look like a pervert out there. You look like a bunch of perverts, all of you at this late night show. Yeah, I knew it's for sure her, yeah. Big fan of Ty's pervert also, this. Star, pervert. Anyway.
And on that note, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.